We've kind of been looking around all the same area, right? We've been looking to try to get ourselves into the headquarters position. We've looked at knee cut. We've looked at various different ways that we can deal with when they bring the knee shield in front. Which again, just going to add to what we've been doing the last week or so, and just give more variations on how we can pass, particularly starting off in the knee cut, because it's a great position to start from. So we're going to do a little drill. We did this drill last week. We're just going to do it again just to get ourselves warmed up. So we're going to put one hand to the hip, one hand to the knee. We're going to use the side step footwork to bring ourselves round to the side, making sure that we keep this elbow to the inside of the far leg so he's not able to bring the knee shield in. And we're going to drop down into this knee cut position. Then we're going to come back out and we're going to switch the hands. So hand goes to knee, hand goes to hip, and we use that side step to roll our partner's legs and hips off to the side, in for the knee cut. Come back out, switch the hands, roll yourself around. If you'd like to, after a few goes of going side to side, we can just drop in on the underhook, slide through, and then get ourselves back out again and restart the drill. So hand to knee, hand to hip, use your footwork to roll the hips over, come back out, use your footwork to roll the hips over, making sure this knee, this elbow stays to the inside. And if you want to add a knee cut in every now and then add the knee cut in, okay? Let's do 10 each side, 5 each side, so 10 in total. 1, 2, 3, let's do it. Okay, so going off of that same position then. So hand to hip, hand to knee, we've used the footwork, we've brought ourselves down into the knee cut. So like we've already covered, many different options for either continuing with the knee cut or changing the option up. Maybe my partner brings the knee shield in, we've covered that a little bit. So the option that we're going to take initially for this is to take the back step out. So we're going to come away from the pass, and often that's going to be the right option, particularly like if he brings the knee shield in or he starts bringing his hands in and just making it difficult for me to continue through. There's no point in me fighting this losing battle. Taking a step back is sometimes going to be the better option. So the step back that we're going to do, we're just going to keep the hand on the hip, keep the hand on the top of the knee initially, and we're going to move our feet out of the line of his legs. Make sure that we're trusting our weight through our hands on our partner. Then we're going to start to move around this 90-degree angle position. So two main options that we have once we get to this position. Number one option is that I change my hand to the top of the knee, keep the pressure on the hip, and I start to circle his knee back, and I follow back round, and I put myself into the leg drag position. So I go all the way back. So from the knee cut, I disconnect my body, but not my hands, keep the weight through, come round to the 90-degree angle. Maybe his hands are still there, pressuring and stopping me. So now I'm going to just change the angle on those arms. So pushing the knee back, circle back around, drop the knee down, and we get to this leg drag position and start passing from there. Or the second option is, if we don't want to go all the way back around, or we don't want to work that footwork to the far side, we come back out, we start to move around, and we just move the leg a little bit. So instead of stepping around, I'm now going to drop my knee down, drop my shoulder into the hip, so I close the space off. My preferred option is just to continue through those. So I'll use this hand to push the knee, always looking to kill the hips, drop my knee out, down just in behind the knees, so it's difficult for him to shrimp and come back to the inside. So again, down into the knee cut. Second option, disconnect the hips, move yourself around. We're just going to start to push. Like for our training partners, dropping the knee, shoulder in is always going to be a nicer option. You know, we can just go push and drive our shoulder in, so we're kind of like spiking into the ribs. But when we're just training, dropping that knee first is going to be a lot nicer option for him. So round to the side, drop the knee, push the leg away, just enough space for us to close in. Keep this hand managing the leg, drop the legs off to the side so we kill the hips. So number one option, we come back out, drive all the way across to the opposite side. Number two option, we just move the leg slightly and drop our shoulder in, kill the hips, and start to work the pass. So let's start in the knee cut. They block it, so we come back out and use these two options. 1, 2, 3, Let's do it. All right, so next option that we're gonna do, we've done the same thing. We've got ourselves round into the kneecap. So for this one to work really nicely, I need to have kept my elbow to the inside of the leg. If he's already brought the knee shield in, so he's brought the leg around, gone for the knee shield, then we're gonna need to look at like other types of passes, maybe that we looked at last week, where we started to pass off to the back, we'll come round the knee shield. If I've managed to keep my elbow to the inside, what we're gonna look to do is go under that leg. But we're not gonna reach and circle the arm under, because now it becomes my arm versus his leg. Like especially my 45-year-old arm versus his 20-year-old leg, it certainly ain't gonna work. So if I try to lift this up, he's just gonna be too strong. So what I'm gonna do is use my elbow. So I'm gonna use the elbow just to pop and create some space, and then take my shoulder into that gap. My arm is gonna come around, and I'm gonna look for a grip on the far side. Again, if we're kind of just being nice to our training partner, we wanna go shallow grip. If we wanna be a little meaner, we can go like deeper grip, so we get a bit of the neck involved. Just one thing to obviously be aware of, because I've taken this arm under this leg, triangle becomes a possibility. So if I step off of this leg and don't control that leg good enough, then he's gonna pull me into the triangle. So once we've committed to going under the leg and we made the grip, we're gonna grip the trousers to make sure we've got a good control of that. Then we're gonna stack. So like we just did on the last pass, we're gonna really trust our weight through our partner. Almost think about like feeding him this knee. So we're gonna stack into our partner, and we're gonna circle our way around to the side that we've got the control of the leg. Stay on your toes so there's pressure. When we get about to this 90-degree angle, we're gonna pull our head back, push the chest forwards so the leg pops off. You notice how I'm still on my toes? Put your leg back up there for me, Craig. If I go here and I drop down to my knees, immediately there's a loss of pressure, and he's gonna be able to do something with it. I need to keep the pressure. On the toes, head back, chest forwards, pop the leg free, then we can bring the knees down and set our side control position. So we've come round. If he hasn't gone for the knee shield and that knee's still a little high, this is gonna be an option. Use your elbow. We're gonna just pop and take our shoulder into that space. Immediately gonna reach round, thumb to the inside, so we get the blade pushing down into the neck, pull it nice and tight so we're connected, make the grip. So I'm making the grip this way, so if he tries to strip my grip off towards him, so he reaches behind the hand, I've got a better grip. If I put my grip this way, it's easier for him to snap off. So fingers towards my partner. Stack in, up onto the toes, pass through, head back, chest forwards. Good pressure. Once the legs have gone, knees can come in and get the control of our pass. All right, so let's go in for the knee cut first. If the knee stays high and doesn't come into the knee shield position, then we can look for that single underpass. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Same thing, we drop down. Now, as you move up through the levels in jiu-jitsu, having the ability to link guard passes is gonna be essential. Really, really important. Not just knowing the knee cut, and then if the knee cut fails, we don't have any other options. And that's kind of literally what we've been looking at here today, right? We've gone for the knee cut, it failed, and we're looking at other options. So the same thing, we're gonna keep linking this together. So I've bumped underneath, I've made my grip, I've started to make my pass, and he doesn't want me to pass. So he takes this hand and he starts pushing it onto my hip. So I can't continue the direction that I wanna go. So I do have options to continue the same way. I can use this leg, I can bring it in, and I can staple this leg to the floor, and then head back, chest forwards, same way as we did, and we can continue the pass as we wanted to originally. But another nice option is when I stack in, he blocks my hip and I can't continue through, is we're gonna go back the opposite direction. So I'm gonna take this inside leg, I'm gonna use my side steps, I'm gonna staple his leg to the floor. Now, good thing about this is that I've really got lots of pressure now, because I've stapled this leg to the floor, I've got the pressure of my shoulder into his leg, so we're really testing that flexibility, right? If we wanna be a little bit nice, we can let this drop down to our arm, but we're not gonna be a little bit nice. We're gonna stay in like this. So we're gonna go under the head, under the arm, and we're gonna get this nice like cradle position in on my partner. So 2 options to pass this. we can either just window wipe the legs, kill the hips off to the side, or we can be a little bit more fancy and we can back step out and then drive the legs. And again, we're looking to kill the hips. Be a little bit careful if you're not killing the hips and leaving this arm to the inside. So if I've come out of the pass and I've left this arm through, as I come out, if I'm not killing the hips to the side, he's got the ability to start throwing up this triangle, reverse triangle, and start catching me. So anytime your arm is left inside the legs, be a little bit careful. So really important that I get those legs driven to the floor. What I would personally do is drop my hips down, kill, take my arm out, then pull myself back up into a more controlled position. So we've gone for the knee cut, we pop this up, gone for the single underleg, I pressure, and he blocks the pass. So this time we're gonna go back the opposite way. Staple with the outside leg. Underneath the head, depending on how quickly we're looking to pass, like you might immediately just go for the back step. You might just make a grip here, back step out, throw the legs off to the side. Or if you feel like just creating a little bit more pressure first, we come through for this cross face and underhook and just test that flexibility a little bit first. Step out, kill the legs off to the side, back up, block, move yourself back into position. So one more time, go knee cut, he blocks to the front. Go under, so we try to go the opposite way. He blocks, so we come back round. Cross face, step out, kill the hips, through for the pass. All right, so let's link it. Knee cut, single under pass, and then that outside staple. 1, 2, 3, let's do it.